So as you notice, I'm making this little bit of announcement after I just got done working on my videos, but I just want to say I want to apologize for not uploading any content for a while. It's been a whole bullshit thing going on, and I probably will address it in a future video, but as of right now, there's not really much for me to say at this point because I'm still trying to wrap my head about some things. So we got another video coming up today, and hopefully we'll have some more videos coming up in the future. I do send some more tutorial videos more than gaming videos, but we shall see in the coming days. So let's just get right into it. What is up, everyone out there on YouTube? This is Michael back with another video, and today I'm gonna teach you guys a little something easy to do. And actually, this is a good way to upgrade to a whole different operating system. You could scrap Windows altogether and go to something different. It's a little bit easier and lightweight on your machine, well, depending on how old your machine is. Well, I'm gonna teach you guys in this video today. Now, you're approaching that Windows 10 end of life and you don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. You just want to say, the heck with Windows 11, I'm gonna switch to something else or stay to Windows 10. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys why it's a bad idea to stay with Windows 10. Okay, I'm gonna break it down to the 3 reasons why you should not stay to Windows 10 beyond its death date. Number 1, you will not get any more security updates, which means once it passes October 14, 2025, you still be able to use the device. It's just you will not get any more security updates, which will leave your computer open to vulnerabilities, malware, or virus attacks. Number 2, you will get no more new features coming in. So if a new feature is being released for Windows 11, it will not be available on Windows 10. Option 3, there will be no more tech support, which means once Windows 10 is done, you're still using it, goodbye to any and all tech support. And actually, there's another thing that Microsoft does offer, but it does cost money. You can pay to have the extended security updates, which means you pay a fee to have extended security updates. So you'll continue to receive security updates. It's just there's a fee for it. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are or the logistics of things, but that's besides the point. There's a couple options of what you can do at this point. Option 1, you could upgrade to Windows 11. Option 2, you could recycle your PC and consider getting a new one. Or what if I told you that there's another option? You could switch to Linux, which we are going to be doing here in this video today. Now, if you haven't even tried Linux before, I strongly recommend you try this on a virtual machine. But if you want to, you could do this on your actual hardware. It's just switching to, I would have a backup plan to go back to Windows 10 if you're not a fan of Linux. So I would recommend getting a couple of those USB flash drives, which you can use as bootable drives, to not only have a backup of Windows 10, but also to have Linux available. And there's a ton of different Linux options. So which one is the right one for you? Well, I'm gonna show you guys my personal favorite, and towards the end of the video, I'll show you a couple other recommendations that I would actually tell you guys to go with. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so I'm doing this from another computer. It's just I have it hooked up to a capture card on my main computer. So what you're seeing here is basically Windows 10, but like I said, the end of life is coming. So I'm looking at this operating system, Zorin OS. It's an Ubuntu Linux-based operating system, which is actually pretty fun to have. I actually personally like this. I still use this to this day. But today I decided to wipe everything and bring Windows 10 back to this computer just so I could teach you guys how to do this. Now, again, I would strongly recommend you having a backup of Windows 10, and I'll actually show you how to get to that here in a moment. So let's go with ZorinOS. What you want to do is click download, and also all the links you're going to need are going to be in the description down below. So you got ZorinOS 17.3. Now there is a pro version which you do have to pay for, but you can stick with the core, which is for basic use, and that is completely free. Or if you're a student or a teacher, I would go with the education one, which is also free as well. So you can actually compare the differences between core, pro, and education. So the first one, Office Suite. You get it on any version of Zorin OS. You get Office Suite, which is basically a free open source version of Microsoft Office, but it's a lot better. I recommend that on any computer in general, even on Windows. Then you have Zorin Connect, which is basically almost the same thing you see on Windows. You can connect your phone to the computer, and that's available for pro and core users. Educational apps and games, that's mainly available for the education sector of things. And then you get the standard desktop layouts, which I will explain a little bit later on in the video, but you can get it on all 3. But beyond that, all these are available for pro users. You get different premium desktop layouts, which you can make it look like a Mac, you can make it look like Windows 11, Windows Classic, Chrome OS, GNOME 2, and Ubuntu. So whichever one you'll like, I'm sure you'll like. Professional grade creative suites and apps. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you can always give a click on there, but I'm not going to do that here. You get advanced productivity tools, so something you can have down the road. Additional artwork, Zorin installation support service, and contributes to the development of Zorin OS, which is basically a community based build. However, we're just going to stick with the free one. If you want me to do the pro one, I may do that later on down the road. It just depends if I can do it or not. So what you want to do is you're going to click download. You can subscribe to their newsletter if you want. You just enter your email address, subscribe and download, but we're not going to do that. We're going to skip to the download. Thank you for downloading Zorin OS 17.3 core. So that is downloading. Now, depending on your internet speed, it may take a while, but here's another program you should get your hands on. And this is what's going to turn your USB flash drives into bootable devices, which I will explain in a few minutes in this video. So basically what you want to do is scroll down and you click on one of these. I will just click the first link. It'll take like maybe a few moments for it to download. It's been updated since April 2025, but like I said, it's going to take a few moments to download. You just click open file and then it'll pop up. There it is. And then, yeah, we'll just do that. This will pop up. So this is where you will have your USB flash drive inserted. I do not have one inserted right now, but I will here in a moment. And also make sure you have Windows. Also make sure you have at least a 16 gigabyte flash drive or better. You could probably get away with an 8 gigabyte, but I strongly recommend getting a 16, especially if you're going to have a backup of Windows 10. And speaking of backup of Windows 10, let me show you guys how to get that. Okay, so you go into Google, you can go into Windows 10 download, and you can actually get this directly from the Microsoft website, which is right over here. Download Windows 10 disk image ISO file. It's always good to have a backup plan in case you're not a fan of this type of Linux system. You could switch to a different one, but either way, it's always good to have a backup just in case. So what you would do is you go to download now, and then that's going to download. So make sure you have a flash drive set up and then just go through the whole thing. Simple, straightforward. I'm not going to do that in this video, but what you would do is you click here, and depending on how old your computer is, if you still have a DVD drive, that's also an option you can go with instead of using a flash drive. But I strongly recommend using a flash drive because it'll be a lot quicker that way. But this will pop up, and then basically you just go through the steps. It's simple, it's straightforward, and then you'll be able to have a backup copy of Windows 10. Again, I'm not going to do that in this video, but that's a little something you can consider. Yes, you're going to quit. So I'm going to wait for this to finish downloading, and then we'll continue on with the video. Okay, now that we're finished installing it, now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in. This is a USB flash drive you can plug into your computer, and it's going to turn into a bootable drive. So there it is, ESD, ISO, whatever that was, but it's whatever. And now we're going to leave it as this disk or ISO image, and then you're going to click select, and you're going to find out where it's downloaded, which is right over here. So you would click on that, and it's basically the same thing applies when you try to do Windows 10 as well, because it's going to be the same thing, except the only difference is that that's going to be on GPT instead of MBR, but this is alright right here. And also another thing I need you to keep in mind, you have to disable secure boot. Otherwise, the Linux system may not work well. I don't know why they design it like that, but either way, they still got way better security than Microsoft. So we're going to let this finish doing its thing. It may take about, I'm going to guesstimate 5 minutes depending on how your computer performance is. But either way, let's let it finish and then we'll continue with the video.
A few minutes later.
Okay, now that it's done, we can go ahead and close this down. We're going to go ahead and eject it from the computer. Just give it a right click, eject it. There it is. So now at this point you will need to shut down your computer, and then we'll go ahead and we'll continue on with the little project so that way we can get Zorin OS fully set up. Okay, so depending on what computer that you are using, you will need to press one of the following keys. It'll be either escape, F2, F10, or F12. It might vary depending on what kind of computer you have. I'm using a Dell Inspiron 15 laptop, so in my case I'll have to press F12 and boot from the USB, so that way this will load up for me. And just let it do its thing. Don't even click on anything, don't even press anything, otherwise you will have to do the cycle all over again. So let it finish, and then we'll get to the point once the desktop pops up and then that other come up to be able to start installing. Okay, so now this is what's gonna pop up, and then you select the language that you are most comfortable or most fluent with. I'm gonna use English. Now you could try Zorin OS before you download it, or you can just go ahead and install it. So for my case, I would install this. If you're doing this on a virtual machine, the same principle applies. So install Zorin OS, and then keyboard layout English US. Yep, that's how we're gonna set it up. Okay, now this will pop up, and depending if you're connected to the internet or not, most likely you'll have to connect through a Ethernet cable. If not, then the Wi-Fi may not work. I'm not 100% sure, but I've had issues in the past. Now, usually if you're doing this offline, this will not be checked off. This will be marked off, but I'm going to have it on anyway because I am connected to the internet. And then we're also going to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. And then at that point, the Wi-Fi will work again. And you can participate in this. You don't want to. If you don't want to, then I'm going to keep this one open because I want to. And now it's preparing Ubuntu drivers because this Zorin OS is based off of Ubuntu. Okay, so this is what's going to pop up. If you wanted to, you can do like a dual boot kind of thing. You can install Zorin alongside with Windows Boot Manager. But if not, you can do like a clean install. I strongly recommend doing a clean install if you plan to stay with Zorin OS or any other Linux software. Again, you will have another flash drive if you have that to have like a backup Windows 10. Otherwise, it will be a little bit difficult to get at this point unless you happen to download it from another Windows computer. So we're going to go ahead and install now. I'm going to go with the erase disk and install Zorin option. This is what's going to pop up, so we can continue. Time zone, I'm just going to go ahead and say New York, even though I'm not in New York, but it's still in the same time zone as me. Name, put my YouTube name, MichaelGR95USA. Subscribe to the channel, and I would appreciate the thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to go ahead and put in a password. Now, you don't have to put in a password if you're using a VM, but if you're using it on an actual computer, then yeah, I would recommend a password. Now, here comes the most time-consuming part, especially if you're doing this online. It's going to have everything ready, and it's going to install most of the basic drivers that you need to be able to run this. And then once we reboot, we'll be able to continue on and provide more updates as it goes.
20 minutes later.
Okay, now that the installation process is complete, what we can do is we can restart now, and then after that, we'll be able to continue on and we'll finish updating everything. And I'm also going to show you guys how to update things if you're just now connecting to the internet after rebooting it. So let's show you how it's done. Okay, so now we're in the starting screen. This is what will pop up when you first start. Pretty much similar how it would be on Windows. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start tour. Open apps now. Yep, all your apps are gonna be located right here. And if you notice, I have a little bit of lag because again, I'm using a capture card. I'm using slightly older hardware, but that's besides the point. If you're doing this from a VM, like I said, everything's gonna run smoothly. It's the same principles applies and everything. Next, you can choose your desktop look. You can make it look like Windows kind of whatnot. You can make it look like Windows XP, Vista 7, Windows 11. I believe this one is similar to a Mac. I'm not 100% sure. I will have to explore that a little more, but this is the one I'm actually going to go with right here, and it's going to make it look like Windows 11. So, theme, dark theme of course, especially if you're running on battery power. Plus, it's a little more comfortable for your eyes. Effects, leave it as is. This is the part where you can actually do a little bit of customization. Put it to the way you like it. You can connect your online accounts if you want, but I'm going to leave that for later. Connect your phone, we'll leave that for later, and then install software, close, and that's it. So you're probably wondering how you're going to run updates. Well, Control T. That's what actually would pop up, but before you do that, what you would do is type that. I'll make sure to leave it in the description below so you can just copy and paste it onto your VM. Into your computer, your password is going to go through everything. And then make sure to see what's upgradable. Yeah, see 41 packages upgradable, so you can just go ahead and close this. Go ahead and install now. And if you want to see what's going on behind the scenes, you can click details, and what looks like similar to a terminal will pop up, and then you'll see everything that's going on. And honestly, it will be a little bit slow at first, and then things will start to pick up. But it could be a little bit faster if you're using a more of a high-end device. I'm using a lower-end device for this one. So, but that's besides the point. Now that everything is updated, what you would do is you have to reboot your computer again, and then after that, you are good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you want me to work more on Linux videos, let me know in the comments down below. There's a couple more I actually want to discuss in a future video, but again, let me know in the comments down below. And if this video actually gets over 1,000 likes, I will get the Zorin Pro, which is $48, but I will only do that if this video gets 1,000 likes. So let's see what happens. If you happen to enjoy this content, don't forget to like it for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.